my body, some days it'll be in a lot of pain, but where I felt blockages before, it feels like a lot more, like it flows better. And the like I could feel like normally before we had a video call, I told you already, but I can like sense like, and like if I'm just sitting normal, it won't be there. But if I just like sense a certain way, I don't know how to describe it, but I can feel like all the energy around me, and everything will start to look like energy, like in my room. So
Oh, you did. So you just applied some rudimentary stuff we talked about without. I didn't even really tell you the techniques. You already just like started fucking
yeah,
around just off what we talked about in the first session, and
yeah.
you're
Which
getting
has been,
results.
yeah. So
Oh, badass.
that made that electrical feeling so much stronger. And
Yeah,
now
yeah.
the like
Standing
I can
wave.
almost stare at my monitor to get the whole image of my room will start to like I can obviously like this is all made up in our imagination, the whole
Yeah.
room, and I could start to see all the energy a lot better now. And
It's like when
um
Neo sees the fucking codes in the Matrix. Remember? He
kind
finally
of
can
like
see
that, but it
it.
doesn't. It just looks like a one image of
Yeah,
light.
yeah. It's not. It doesn't really look like that fucking
Yeah,
linear shit.
but since
It's more
then,
like a soup of fucking. It's more like it starts turning into like a fluid energy, huh? Like you can just like
exactly.
start
Almost like
perceiving
my
that
eyes
extra
are
data.
blurry or something.
Yeah.
But since then, I mean, I only went out of my. So the second day of trying that and everything, I was able to fly out of my body again.
What the
But and it
fuck, dude?
but
Wow.
it hasn't happened a lot anymore. But that day, so I don't know if you remember when I first explained to you, it was just like me seeing random things.
Mhm.
This time I was flying around, and I was like, all right, I'm gonna feel love in my heart. I never do that. Usually it just
Fuck.
feels like I'm having a crazy ass orgasm. But
Uh-huh.
this time I imagined love, like where I felt love in my heart. And bro, I started to go to a bunch of different realms for the first time. I never
Shit.
went to different realms. So I went to the first realm I went into. These people lived, there was no outside. It was like just rooms, and outside of the wall was something they were scared of, like some toxic poisonous whatever. So I was like, hold up, this is not, and it looked fake, like everything
Mm.
looked like it didn't have that organic look to it.
Wow.
I was like, all right, I'm not supposed to fucking be here. That's usually my telltale sign of to get out of somewhere. When I feel
So,
the vibe, I'm like, hold on, you guys
middle
got
or
poisonous.
lower? Yeah, it's a
I
or
don't
lower astral realm for sure. That's what it sounds like.
Maybe. I mean, they got poisonous shit outside the wall. So I was like, all right, start to feel the love more. And I started to go into more and
Dude.
more realistic realms. And every time I would end somewhere, there would be like a test. Like my spirit was going through a test, and I could hear my
Yeah.
intuition perfectly. And a lot of the tests, I guess, had to do it in my life. Like there was one where there was a bunch of girls I used to like talk to from the past, and then there was me laying on a bed, and instead of like going with them, I went to me, and I just went and hugged myself, and I felt like I
Wow.
passed the test.
Oh,
There was
fuck yeah.
another one there was another one with these people. I used to drink a lot of alcohol when I was younger. They were all sitting down, and it was cool because I was able to talk to them and actually be like almost like a lucid dream. But this felt, I knew I was in my body, like how when I'm astral projecting.
Hmm.
But I'm talking to them, and they're trying to make me drink alcohol. They're like, "Oh, you want any alcohol?" And I'm like, "Nah, I'm good." Like I could feel like just
Dude.
it was test after test. So then I ended up going after I was talking to them. It was the next stage of that same test, and there was like this pool of water like fucking flowing in everywhere, and I had to try to escape the room. So I was pulling out all these boxes, and I got out,
Wow.
and long story short, it was just a bunch of different tests. And then there was, it was like I was trying to reach something, like something, each test was progressing me towards some fucking
Yeah.
challenge for somebody named Claire. Like to the last thing was like people fighting for this thing called Claire. And I was like, This is something that's just gonna end up distracting my mind, and I shouldn't
Claire,
concentrate too
huh?
much. Yeah,
Clairvoyance?
that's what I kind of
Or
thought when I woke up, but I'm like, bro, this is just I'm not fucking competing for nothing, bro. Like I'm me. I don't have to fucking compete for shit. Like, what do I look like, bro? It's like the same
yeah,
thing with that big ass energetic person trying to fight me. Like, bro, I'm not fighting you. Like,
this
come on.
this is very common in the astral realm. It's like a literal testing ground. God, somebody put there to like to judge whether people are ready or not to get out of this place,
Mhm.
man. And it's just, so it's like passions, desires, the woman thing. I went through a very similar thing. It's probably happens a lot for men. And then yeah, you're being tested basically. But once you start putting out the love with no thoughts, bro, just everything, all your energy back right here and just like in the now, like emotionally feeling into love. It's like turning a radio dial frequency wise on your light body, and it will literally like resonance. You will lift out of the astral more and more and more. And these little experiences you're having, or you can consider them like the weights, the little energy blockages that are stored in your light body. And once you go through them and absolve them from your energy field, it's like pulling out the weights. You'll start to resonate farther and farther away from the lower and middle astral, out of the astral completely into the fifth dimension and beyond. So yeah, I
They
can't believe you're
started
this
to
advanced. It's crazy.
they started to look really super realistic. Like as it
It's
progressed,
good.
they would start to look more and more real. It was so beautiful, bro. There was like
Uh,
one where they was just like, I think I failed this test. There's this girl I used to talk to when I was in high school, and for some reason I took her phone and just started to fly away with it. And I took her phone, flew to outer space. Like this outer space was probably only 100 feet away, and I just chucked her phone into outer space.
what
But I
the
never had
fuck?
problems with her or nothing ever when I was younger. So I was just like, what the
Interesting.
fuck?
A lot of it's symbolic because of the subconscious. A lot of this has to do with lucidity. So that's an example. That means your light body is becoming more conductive the more realistic it gets, okay? Because it's all about data transfer. So the more electrical charge you start pumping into your light body, the more data, bro. Meaning, and the more consciousness. So things will become less like chaotic and like low graphics. And all of a sudden things
That's
will
how it
become.
started.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That's a good sign. Yeah. That means it's probably the love shit, dude. It like brought coherence to your light body. You start fucking with more energy, and then more data comes in, and you everything gets more realistic. This is the same thing that's happened to me. It started out like foggy, even, dude. Like I can't even see 20 feet away. Sometimes I'm even blind. And then the more activations I would do, the more light body activation techniques I would apply, the more Kundalini energy I'd be fucking with. Then it was like here, linear moments, people, places, events, much more realistic, and things way more detailed. So it went from like foggy and almost blind and just chaotic to all of a sudden like I can see skin patterns on my little astral body and shit like that, like super vivid. So
Okay.
man, you're pretty
And
advanced
another
in.
thing that happened is when I stare at my hand, like here, bro, it will start to literally disappear, like in front of my fucking, like here, while I'm here, bro. Like,
Oh
and
shit,
now,
yeah, yeah, yeah. Seeing through the fucking
before,
matter. Yeah.
yeah, before I can only do it when I'm in my room, but now when I'm at the gym, I'm just looking around and I'm just like, I'm surrounded by a bunch of gods, and it'll just start to really start to just fucking like start to change, you feel me, like right in front of me, like they'll start to come closer, people are staring at me and shit. I'm like, yo, either these people are NPCs or they fucking feel the aura coming off of me. They're like, what's that kid doing?
They do, man.
Like,
On a subconscious level, they do feel it for sure. But
uh,
that reminds me of those fucking hypnosis experiments and all that. Especially when the hypnosis would be done on like an old '80s or '90s television show. They put someone under hypnosis, and then they could see through objects under hypnosis. And so I think it's like it has to do with the attention and like manipulating waveforms, basically. Like you're the one that decides which data you want to perceive. So you once you start activating, you'll be able to see through objects, dude. It's really crazy. So you dude,
another thing too,
what's that?
Another thing is, while I was feeling my body and I would send it down my legs, I started to notice I could feel like the energy. I was able to push it in between my legs. Like if there's a gap in my legs, I could push it down and feel the space like around me. So I was imagining the space in front of my hands, like maybe like 4 feet, and I could feel the like electricity or energy just like coming out of my hand to grasp the information or whatever in the area around me, bro.
Yeah, man, that's
It's crazy.
perfect description right there. Information. Check this out. This is what you're perceiving right here. If you're feeling this shit, this waveform fabric that extends outside of your physical body multiple feet, and then there's those currents that come off of the fingers. They all interconnect, and the problem with most people is they're all disconnected and fucked up, man. And if you can feel if like earlier I was feeling my teeth, bro, because they're like little electrical nodes. I was feeling them pulse at the same time as a chakra on the bottom of my foot. So what I'm saying is like you'll start to feel sensations that are inside your body and outside your body, and how they're all interconnected by these currents. It's really crazy. That's the cool part about the techniques is it brings electrical coherence to the currents.